lelo wayamba lelo ndesura mwali ndishiba nemi kali yandi nemi kulire yandi kuno kutifro mwali ndishiba necho mumpele lobutungulushi nicho mwali nchetekero kutira ndi mugomfi wenu kanshira ngubantalantanshe ine mkwai ndera afyo kutira ishane nukeyo kanshi mkwai na pamande tukabwela tukese mbona banensi barabashala nabo kutyabaka bale bakafumelo mlandi tukalelula pakufuma kunse achipashangira munyina shipashangira munye shipashangira shipashangira munye shipashangira.
Republican President Hakainde Hichilema says it is his desire to have a well-disciplined crop of police officers who will ensure that they help change the narrative for better in the restoration of public trust. Mr. Hichilema says it is not a secret that members of the public no longer have confidence in the police due to the numerous scandals most officers have engaged themselves in the past years, adding that in some cases officers allowed political party cadres to storm their stations and harass them while in their backyard. Meanwhile, the president has reiterated the need for the officers to stick to the rule of law by not keeping arrested suspects for more than 48 hours, as it is against the law. He adds his agenda is to govern the country in line with the Constitution, hence he will not entertain the continued detention of suspects beyond the stipulated hours. And speaking at the same event, Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbu says the recruits have a huge task ahead in ensuring that they help save communities and the country at large from enemies of the state. Mr. Mwimbu has charged that during his tenure of office, he will not tolerate lawlessness by officers who have been entrusted with the powers to serve the country. This was during the 2021 Zambia Police Pass-Out Parade at Lilai Training College in Lusaka. 1,341 new officers have been commissioned.
That's a distinction. I hope that helps going forward. Police shall be expected to enforce the law accordingly. I think it has been said, the Minister of Home Affairs and Domestic Security has said it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me state that the pass-out parade we are witnessing today demonstrates government's determination to strengthen the Zambia Police Service in particular and the security institutions in general. In this regard, it should be noted that while calling upon the police to effectively serve the citizenry, it is also important to address impediments to the quality of service. Inspector General, we have heard your message. Home Affairs and Internal Security, the PS is here. Can we work quickly onto a project, not just for this college, but the restoration of the police infrastructure and associated, if you like, facilities across the country?
As properly guided under the new Dawn government, this will no longer be the case. There has to be adherence to law and order by all citizens. The Zambia police must take up their place and space of enforcing the law fairly and firmly to all without fear or favor.
The services of these trainees on parade today are desperately needed in various police stations across the country so that crime effectively fought and reduced to manageable levels. I believe that your government, the new Dawn government, will grant us authority to recruit more officers next year as we endeavor to increase manpower so as to enhance police delivery to members of the public in line.
Democratic Party National Executive Committee members Evans Chilambwe, Judith Kabemba and Justin Nkonge have reported Harry Kalaba to the police for perjury in the case that is before the Lusaka High Court. Speaking shortly after dropping a letter at Lusaka Central Police, Ms. Kabemba alleges that Kalaba lied on oath to the court in a matter which is before the Lusaka High Court when he said that the constitution of the DP party was amended. In this matter, Ms. Kabemba and Justin Nkonge have sued Mr. Kalaba for alleged impersonating as party president. The duo, who recently suspended Mr. Kalaba for allegedly squandering party funds and appointing Patriotic Front members into the organization, are also seeking a permanent injunction restraining Kalaba from masquerading as party president.
To report Mr. Harry Kalaba for a case of perjury. So as DP, we have taken Mr. Kalaba into court, where the court is yet to determine whether Mr. Kalaba is the president of the DP or not, because our constitution has no provision for a party president. And we had simply invited Mr. Kalaba to come and contest as our presidential candidate. Now, after that, Mr. Kalaba has been holding on to power. So we took him to court, and in the submissions that he made through his lawyers to the High Court, he lied blatantly about the constitution of our party being amended and adopted. In his statement, he has lied that our constitution was amended and adopted at a meeting that was held at Amaka Lodge on the 25th September 2021. But the fact remains that in that meeting, the constitution was never amended nor adopted, and further, our constitution as DP is not amended at a meeting. It is amended at a general conference with 2/3 majority supporting the amendments.
Now that the issue was settled by the registrar, he has not been sleeping, he has been kicking, move this side and the other side, and crying. I heard him saying, no, the UPND is doing this. Now the nation must know. I think he's just desperate, and he wants to confuse the people to think that, no, what is happening? There is nothing like that. The guy, to begin with, he was alone when he was mutilating our constitution. Was UPND there? When he was getting money for the party and taking it to home without accounting for it, was UPND there? When Harry Kalaba invited him as presidential candidate, UPND was not there. When Harry Kalaba is lying even now, we are reporting him for perjury. Is it UPND that caused him to go and try to sneak a...
Opposition Patriots for Economic Progress PEP leader Sean Temple says the kwacha has appreciated by 13% over the past few weeks, an indication that the dollar price at which Zambia buys both fuel and electricity has gone up by 13%, even though the kwacha price is still the same. To this effect, Mr. Tembo says, therefore, government does not have the justification to proceed with the planned increase on fuel prices and electricity tariffs. He says the 13% appreciation of the kwacha to the dollar has addressed the matter and settled it once and for all. The PEP leader says the only way that government would still go ahead with the planned increment of fuel prices and electricity tariffs is if they have ulterior motives other than what they initially argued.
For economic progress, we have noticed the huge appreciation of the kwacha against the dollar from about 18 last week to about 15.6 at the moment. And our view is that in view of this huge appreciation, there is no longer any case for an increment in fuel as well as electricity tariffs, because the base cost for both fuel and electricity is dollar denominated. And when the kwacha appreciates, It simply means that the dollar equivalent price of the tariffs that we are paying for electricity, as well as the fuel pump prices, would have gone up, even if the kwacha prices have not. And in view of that, we believe that the government no longer has a case for increasing these electricity tariffs as well as fuel prices, because the appreciation is approximately 13% of the kwacha in the past 1 week. And so we call upon government to reconsider their decision to increase fuel and electricity prices. Thank you.
You're watching the news on Muvi Television. We take a short break. When we are back, State House says the removal of fuel and electricity subsidies has only angered a small group of individuals who saw an opportunity of enriching themselves at the expense of poor Zambians. We have details to that story and more stories coming up. Stay tuned.
Bet your way with Betway.
Yo, Mama! Banji! I'm very sure. How come your crop is far much better than mine? I mean, we are neighbors. My farm is right next to yours.
My dear, this is an open secret.
Tell me.
I switched to Sidco ever since. My harvest has been good.
Sidco?
Sidco has got the right seed for every farmland.
Sure.
See, my friend, I'm telling you, just contact them and find out which is the right seed for you.
Increase your yield this season by using Seedco Climate Smart Seeds. Call or visit your nearest Seedco depot for more details on our Climate Smart products. Seedco, it starts with the right seed.
Place a bet, search on the web, or get the app. 1xBet Bookmaker Company.
I woke up feeling great, need a kick for the day. Got a taste that is keeping me awake. Something fresh, something true, unforgettable, something new. I can trust as my interests all the way. So when I wake up, can't get enough. Every day, ever with tea, yeah, with my bread. Oh, for me, every day, yeah, every day. Years of perfection bring satisfaction. Think milk, think Finta. Yeah, every day.
They'll play a high press to force the mistakes.
They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We'll handle the pressure and smash them on the break.
The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games.
The passing will be quick, decisive, precise. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points.
They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
Betway.
State House says the removal of fuel and electricity subsidies has only angered a small group of individuals who saw an opportunity to enrich themselves at the expense of poor Zambians. Speaking during a radio program in Livingston, presidential spokesperson Anthony Walia reveals that former government officials together with their associates used fuel subsidies to rob Zambians through companies they owned in the fuel transportation sector. Mr. Walia adds government was losing millions of dollars every month by subsidizing fuel, which would be bought at a cheaper price, but those who were charged with the responsibility to buy it did so at inflated figures. He explains that it is for this reason former senior government officials who have seen that the removal of subsidies will throw them away from the business have resorted to spreading propaganda on the said issue.
You have different suppliers. It's the same product. This guy says, I'll deliver it at 1 kwacha. The other one says 2 kwacha. The other one says 10 kwacha. Your previous government, rather than asking the guy who's saying I'll deliver it for 1 kwacha, they were asking the guy who was delivering it at 10 kwacha to deliver it. Because that's how they were making money. I just told you, the subsidy was not for you, Peter. It was not for your family. It was not for your children. The subsidy was going to pay for transportation costs associated with moving fuel. The people who owned those trucks were government officials. If not the government officials, it were their friends in the private sector, and they had shares in there. And those transportation costs, Peter, I want to assure you, because I have looked at them, they are inflated by anything between 150 and 200%. Do you want Peter to continue paying for that? Do you want your children to be paying for that? The president has said no. So we're removing it so that we can put this money where you, Peter, and the rest of the Zambian people need this money the most. And we will do the rest of the work in ensuring that we optimize the fuel value chain, the electricity value chain, and make sure that we deliver these critical commodities at the best possible premium to you, Peter, and your family.
Residents of the Lilai area in Lusaka's Kabwata constituency have complained over the poor state of the Lilai Clinic, which is the only medical facility in the area, catering for more than 21,000 people. The residents have told Muvi TV News that besides the clinic operating up to 17 hours daily, it has no laboratory and bed spaces, forcing most patients to go to far areas such as Chawama Clinic. A check by Muvi TV News at the medical facility revealed that infrastructure is dilapidated with leaking roofs and poor electrical wiring. And the local well-wisher Andrew Tayengwa, who visited the area, has pledged to aid the clinic with iron sheets and paint the worn-out clinic building.
Access to quality health care services and infrastructure continue to be a challenge in Zambia, especially in rural areas. However, Lilai Clinic of Lusaka's Kabwata constituency is operating under enormous challenges.
Because we are so far away from the referral hospitals, usually our clients have to go to Chawamba, Chilenje or Chilanga. Now looking at those distances, I think it would really be very good to have a mini hospital in our areas. The challenges we have mainly are, we have a lot of leakages, like our clinic has got a lot of leakages. We'd love somebody to come through to come and help in that area.
To just do an overhaul.
An overhaul of the whole, the roofing of the clinic. That would be a very priority. With the rain seasons, which season coming through, that would be a #1 priority for us.
Besides the clinic being small, it has no bed space to cater for about 21,000 people.
Oscar Muntanga, since 1993. And the challenges are present hospital tripping. Coming to healthcare, clinic, healthcare, because the kind of a clinic baja. Pamatembera mankwala, notisha direct to pharmacy, kutika kule mankwala. So stimulus wapena icha care ya mema kachana matumira katika pamati pasi katika kule mankwala pena nika government pamaplongamo mankwala kutoa stikulisa olobwanji apeve citizen. Second thing, kuzapila to what shop abalira ekupeve mabasa.
And visit our place here, Lilai. Lilai is a very, very big place. And the community, the people who are in the community, there are so many. And this clinic, Lilai Clinic, for not only Lilai Clinic, but Shantumpu, Jack, Lilai Road, Lilai Estate. So people, those people
expressed disappointment at the status quo. So I was looking at your hospital here. I'm told you close even this hospital, first level hospital, so that you... For the vacant Kabwata parliamentary donate my roofing sheet paja, issue ya
in the payments for the months of October and November, The authority says it has cleared most of the backlog on a first-in, first-out basis for audited refunds below 5 million kwacha from 2013 to 2019. This is contained in a statement issued to Muvi TV News by authority's Corporate Communications Manager, Topsy Sikalinda.
As an authority, we are more than committed to ensure that we clear the backlog of VAT refunds, and to this effect, the authority in the month of November has paid about 1.3 billion, which is in terms of refunds, and this is surpassing the usual about 850 million kwacha that we've been paying. The whole idea is that we want to ensure that we push in as much liquidity as possible into the economy, and also support and rekindle the microeconomic activity at local level by ensuring that the small and medium scale entrepreneurs are given the liquidity they need. This we hope will also build goodwill among them, and also help us to ensure that we have voluntary compliance towards various taxes that we are administering.
Meanwhile, Mansa residents in Luapula province have been hit by a water crisis, which they say has put them in a very difficult position. A check conducted by Muvi TV News found most wells have dried up and others seemed to be contaminated. One of the residents of Chisembe village within Mansa, Alfred Mpundu, says water has become a challenge in the area as most wells dried up, and that despite making frantic effort to reach out to relevant authorities, nothing has been done. And Magi Muleye, a resident of Kaole Township, is appealing to President Hakainde Hichilema to come to their aid before the district is hit by waterborne diseases. And when contacted for comment, Mansa District Commissioner Irene Chivweta says a team from the National Development Coordinating Committee working with the Ministry of Water and Sanitation is in the district to monitor the water project that was initiated last year by the previous government.
Crisis has hit Mansa district as most people who depend on water from the wells have been left with no option but to start drinking contaminated water coming from the same wells. For others, they are moving long distance in search of water, but are being faced with the same situation everywhere they go. A resident of Chisembe now explains.
Ifishimana fikama kansi turejula sana ero ngataka tuimbwe rote turesanga bwino bwino amesha kwa bati twambo kutapaya adenga mawe fiko fika tulenwa kansi ngataka baturekesha pali fintu kuti chabako bwino tulelo mbafya maka kubuteko batu wafueko mufyo tulepitamo kwera mkwa pali fyepo ningapela na inebo mkwa fyo ndemo na mumushi mumwesu kwa kumaza Chisembe mbulwe na imbifye mishi paramene kuli akwine kwena obwafya na bukwata.
For some places with boreholes, it's either those boreholes are not functional or have developed some faults and have not been repaired.
Lero twali kwata kwechime to wachire timbira ko bo. So chirina nombata chire bomba nani kane ba council na pongeni ba meya pana nikane na tuletente mukapaka ore sejja munombwa paso. So ba lisa so komone film pipe fyonse so bali firo kurungisha bwino kwena ejo tulero mba kwena monde na timetu bapitira ko basa twafuirisha ko kwena kumana na ya gunda kwane ifine ne mfura tailero kameshi na ya so mumara tulengwa sana fe monde.
For this woman, who is a resident of Kaole Township, has made an appeal to President Hakainde Hichilema to come to their aid before the district is hit with waterborne diseases.
When I am in short, I told him that tata. To a friend, I am in student on to ala wala. Today, Luala Fenedi, Nenga, Butuan, Mumala, Elecalifia Pom to Tuapa. I am in student, tata. It made them work on wire. I am very take what for Ninko. To a total tata to a papa, to a friend, Shenko Wumi, one mensch. To a dealer for Vanna, to a misadi to a friend.
And Mansa District Commissioner Irene Chivweta had this to say over the situation.
I happen to be in the position of having the at least the information. There is a monitoring team which has just come from Lusaka. They visited my office, the medicated school in the morning, and they have come to monitor the same project.
Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mansa.
When we are back, we look at how the Ministry of Health in Luapula Province has intensified the COVID-19 screening at its border points. We take a short break.
At the dawn of every day, we plan for what we need. For some, a bright future for the family. For others, growth in their world. At SIDCO, we understand that the success of your maize harvest is important to you. That's why all of our seed is scientifically tried and tested for Zambia, drawing on years of experience and partnership with the farmers of Zambia. So when it comes to planning this year's crop, make sure the first thing you do is the right thing you do. Plant SIDCO. SIDCO, Kaswiri Wambeu.
Place a bet, search on the web, or get the app. OneXBet Bookmaker Company.
Has she answered yet? Have you decided? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. You said yes. 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 She said yes.
Hey, Chawama. Whoa! Congrats, bro.
We'll be there.
Last Sunday of next month.
Ew, are you here? You may give her the ring. Everyone, say Tufi Life. Tufi Life.
One day, I'll give you the world.
Oh, you already have.
Celebrate Fi Life na Kangwe Kesu. Call at 1 way per second to all networks.
Join a community of lifelong learners. Copeland University is a dynamic place to start or further your education to be effective in your career. At Copeland University, we aim to offer quality, accessible, and affordable tertiary education across society with our well-qualified lecturers, well-furnished computer lab, well-furnished lecture rooms, high standard and stable online learning platforms. We offer programs in the School of Business, School of Education, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, the School of Law. We are making quality education affordable in Zambia. No application fees are required. We have reduced fees for all programs for every student. We allow flexible payments, pay in monthly installments. All our programs are accredited and approved by the Higher Education Authority and the Zambia Qualification Authority. Step into your future with confidence. Apply now. Programs available on full-time, distance, and online education. Contact us on WhatsApp 0763 301 198. We are located at the Lusaka Main Post Office Building, corner of Cairo and Church Road, Lusaka. Email us info@copelanduniversity.com. You can also visit our website www.copelanduniversity.com.
The Ministry of Health in Luapula Province has intensified the COVID-19 screening at its border points. Luapula Health Director Dr. Peter Walia disclosed that they have intensified the COVID-19 screening services at the designated border points as directed by Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo. Dr. Walia adds the officers will ensure that the people getting into the province from the Democratic Republic of Congo also provide information so that they can be easily found. He has since assured the public that the Ministry of Health in the province is comprehensively implementing health services without leaving anyone behind. Meanwhile, presidential COVID-19 advisor Professor Roma Chilengi has revealed that the Ministry of Health has embarked on a vaccination campaign drive and has identified the media as a key player in the campaign drive against the pandemic. Speaking during a media engagement on Friday morning in Lusaka, Professor Chilengi says measures to fight the spread of COVID-19 have been put in place to ensure that the vaccination target number is achieved. Professor Chilengi urged media personnel not to only be sensitizing communities, but also get vaccinated themselves.
While Zambia has high child vaccination coverage, vaccine hesitance, particularly among adults, may present serious challenges for COVID-19 vaccination. In other populations where general vaccination acceptance and coverage are lower, these challenges might be even greater, given the reported vaccine hesitance and misinformation throughout the pandemic. However, providing accurate information through trusted sources of information will be critical to increasing vaccine demand. It is for this reason Presidential COVID-19 Professor Roma Chilengi has revealed that the Ministry of Health has embarked on the vaccination campaign drive and has identified the media as one of the best in campaign drive against the pandemic. Speaking during the media breakfast Friday morning in Lusaka, Professor Chilengi disclosed that Zambia's positivity rate is steadily rising from 0.7% to 2.5% in the last 2 weeks, with 162 new COVID-19 cases being recorded in the last 24 hours.
Our program and implement that program that will limit the number of admissions and hospitalizations and deaths in our population as the COVID fourth wave runs through. As you know, it is no longer a matter of when it will come, it is already here with us. It is a new thing, but pandemics are not new to mankind. The world has dealt with serious outbreaks that would affect the entire humanity. And I think the key thing...
The professor has since employed journalists to accurately inform the public about the COVID-19 vaccination, as it will help cure the main myths the country has faced with on the vaccination program, especially through social media.
I think on the need for us to be here today, is also to make sure that members of the media are themselves in fact vaccinated. And if the members of the media are vaccinated, it's a great starting point, as we should be saying that those of us in positions of leadership in one level or another should be vaccinated, and we make sure that our families are vaccinated. And when you cascade that down, then the whole country is vaccinated.
Speaking at the same event, Media Liaison Committee Chairperson Ino Kingoma says the media has a role in reducing panic in communities during the pandemic, adding that government should provide tools that will help in informing communities on the dangers of COVID-19.
Here the media needs to become innovative to ensure that not only issues of compliance or public support are adequately covered. The media's role is to realize that their ultimate role is to help save lives when there are complications such as COVID-19.
Margaret Chota, Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
Presidential spokesperson Anthony Walia says it is shocking to learn that people who failed to secure an International Monetary Fund (IMF) bailout package are the ones demonizing it today. Mr. Walia notes that government's strong commitment to rebuilding the economy is the reason why the country has managed to reach an agreement with the IMF for a bailout package. He wonders how certain individuals have resorted to the previous commercial loans got at high interest rate as compared to the multilateral loans such as the IMF one.
They were not prepared to rein in on corruption. They were the ones who were stealing from the Zambian people. So the IMF said, we can't do business with people. This president comes in, the new administration comes in, courtesy of the Zambian people, in hundreds, we have the IMF back on board. We have restored credibility of leadership, transparency, accountability. We have reined in on wasteful public expenditure. Exactly what the president says. That is the only way to do it. Without the IMF on board, you will not engage with the creditors. They will strongly have made. In 100 days, we are able to deliver a fully costed budget for the Zambian people. A budget that guarantees 30,000. That is progress. So, the IMF is not for the government. It is for the Zambian people. They are on board so that they can complement the efforts that this government is making towards rebuilding and reconstruction.
The United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, has formed a total of 324 savings groups with a total membership of 5,660 among smallholder farmers in South Zungula districts. Southern Province Agricultural Coordinator Dr. Max Jombe says WFP, in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, has since rolled out training programs to build capacity of field staff to enable them support community engagements between savings for change with financial institutions. Dr. Jombe named other linkages created for smallholder farmers as input suppliers, mechanization equipment suppliers, and social energy companies, among others. Lawrence Kabutu of NAIS in Siavonga filed this report.
United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, in Southern Province, aimed at empowering them economically. The support has been provided in Chirundu, Siavonga, Gwembe, Namala, and Kazungula districts, has since rolled out training programs to build capacity of
to link these farmers groups with the financial services so that they are able to.
Extension officer says WFP has further engaged farmers in aggregation of field crops and livestock to sell at lucrative prices.
And they are produced together, though aggregation is not only measured on produce and things that they harvest.
And the crops that are being produced. Alternative livelihood projects from WFP were filled with joy for the support they received from WFP.
Built a 4-bedroom house, giving me 600 per month from rentals.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Siavonga.
We take a final break.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's the people you can count on. People who are there for you, no matter what.
Guess we are always here for them.
Choose who to play with.
With Bet Power, you can chat, message, or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
Bob! Bob! Bob!
Over here.
How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order a shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money Master.
Taste the fun. Introducing big flavors. Orange, cocoa pine, cola, ginger, apple, lemonade, and raspberry. Big soft drinks. Taste the fun. Big. Too big. Taste the fun. Big. Too big.
Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Permanent Secretary John Msimuko reduced land degradation by the year 2030. He was speaking during the flag-off ceremony of 15 motorbikes for distribution to the Forestry Department in Eastern Province.
Government, through the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, has flagged off the distribution of 15 motorbikes to the Forestry Department in Eastern Province, purchased by the Zambia Integrated Forest Landscape Projects. Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Permanent Secretary John Msimuko says this is in an effort to reduce land degradation by 2030.
This is also in recognition of Zambia's international commitment to working collectively and promoting an inclusive rural transformation.
The recent baseline assessment of greenhouse gas emissions from the Eastern Province has indicated that more than 46% of emissions are coming from the forest degradation of the standing forests in the province and 16% from clearance. Msimuko says government is committed to provide services to rural communities in order to alleviate the causes of climate change.
These emissions relate to deforestation and degradation due to fewer wood use for household firewood, charcoal production and tobacco, as well as degradation due to fire. In view of this situation, the government of the Republic of Zambia is committed to improving the operations of the Forestry Department. We have acquired these motorbikes at a huge cost to improve the mobility of personnel in the Forestry Department in Eastern Province.
Virginia Chilongo, Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court has ruled that in this matter, Milingolungu, who is Konkola Copper Mine liquidator in charge with is charged with money laundering involving the said amount of money. It is also alleged that Milingolungu, aged 43, a legal practitioner between 20, the property of KCM. And when the matter came up before Magistrate Felix Kauma for ruling on the application, which was raised by the defense, that Muya cannot testify in the matter as the shares a lawyer-client relationship with the accused person. Magistrate Felix Kauma overruled the objection. And in the previous sitting, 46-year-old banker of Lusaka's Kamala South area narrated before the Lusaka Magistrate Court how he generated a bank statement and transaction documents relating to the transaction of money amounting to 400,400,000 for continuation of trial. Today's government is committed to the cause of human rights as an important global event on account that it resonates well with the administration in reuniting and rebuilding the country. 10th of December since 1948 to remember the day when United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. He says the country has begun to reunite to maintain order and security in the country. On that note, we've come to the end of this bulletin. Before we go, here is and others released on bail, his lawyer, Leon Lemba, 98 hours. ZRA continues to dismantle VAT refunds. Run dry. My name is Saidless Nkonjara. For more stories, Twitter as well as Instagram. Send us an email for feedback, frondoffice@movitv.com.
They'll play a high press to force them to slice.
There will be drama in the dying minutes.
This match will mean more than 3 points. They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. Betway.
As COVID-19 cases keep rising, many business entities are affected and their revenue keeps going down. But together, we can fight COVID-19. Rumpi Enterprises provides you and your organization the safety you require in these hard times of the COVID-19 pandemic by using effective disinfectants procedures such as knockdown and residual disinfecting that helps prevent and get rid of COVID-19. We do knockdown and residual disinfecting procedures for homes, offices, hospitals, churches, and many more. Protect yourself and the people around you and get your business running with our powerful trusted disinfectants. Call Rumpi Enterprises on 0955 767835 or 0955 992230 or come to the 3rd floor, room 3, Tazara House, corner of Dedan Kimati and Independence Avenue.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit.